Warning, this video may contain graphic content such as sexual scenes, violence, gore, boobies, and the rest of the fun stuff. Unfortunately, YouTube won't allow that, so we'll try what we can. Please be over 18 to view this video, and don't say we didn't warn you.
Endlessly searching for an original
Hi, YouTube! It has begun to snow by the time they pass Utsumoya on the Tohoku Expressway. I tried.
下が雪道になってなきゃいいがな。
Koji says. In the passenger seat, Fuminori is gazing out of the frosted window in silence. He's been in this trance-like state for almost an hour now. Taking advantage of his inattention, Koji stares unabashedly at Fuminori from the corner of his eye. He still doesn't understand the danger signals that he's been getting from the man. Fuminori has stopped avoiding Koji, and he's even looking at him in the eye when he talks. So why does he seem more distant now than he did when he was trying to push his friends away? Fuminori's posture is noticeably relaxed, but his gaze never wavers, not even for a moment. It is as though he is focused on a clearly defined future that he has chosen to bring about, one that has no place for the needs or wants of others. Right now, Fuminori is complete. Koji can't help but feel that beneath his bland exterior is a core of solid steel that no one can touch.
近江だけどな。
Koji says suddenly, trying to gauge Fuminori's reaction.
いなくなって今日で1週間になる。まだ何の連絡もない。
そう。
Fuminori's reply, curtly, still staring into the distance.
心配だね。どうしたんだろう。
Fuminori's tone is completely emotionless. Koji might as well have asked him about the weather or the condition of the mountain roads near their destination.
もう一度聞くが、お前何か思い当たる節はないか？
いや、全然。
Fuminori answers in exactly the same tone that he used when Koji first questioned him following Omi's disappearance.
まるで気にかけてないみたいだな。
Koji's eyes narrow.
そんなことないさ。
Finally, Fuminori shows some emotion. He sounds hurt, like he can't believe Koji would think such a thing.
彼女、僕の家に来る途中でいなくなったんだろ。もちろん僕だって心配だよ。
Suddenly, frustration wells up inside Koji. If possible, he'd like nothing more than to beat the secrets out of Fuminori's head. Koji is worried sick about Omi. To have his concern brushed off so coldly would be unbearable coming from a complete stranger. But from Fuminori, who was his best friend, Fuminori never used to be this callous. Even if Koji tried to interrogate him, he'd probably never find out what changed him so. If Fuminori were still just hiding inside the shell he erected around himself after the accident, Koji might have been able to get some answers out of him. With this sly, evasive Fuminori, however, there's nothing Koji can do. Fuminori will never reveal his true intentions, not anymore. All that's left then is for Koji to discover the truth on his own.
近江はな、筑波のことでお前に話があったんだ。
Fuminori smiles bitterly at the mention of Tsukuba's name, I think. Perhaps feeling sympathy for her pain. But Koji, however, it seems like pity, the sort one directs at an ant or a worm.
筑波さんか。参ったね。まあ、あんなことがあった後だからさ、最近声がかけづらくて。
Unbelievable. If Fuminori's feelings for Yo were really this cold, then he would have rejected her when she first confessed to him. But he didn't, or at least, the Fuminori before the accident didn't. Once again, Koji can't help but wonder if this man who looks like his friend is really a different person who only possesses the memories of Sakisaka Fuminori. The snow has stopped falling when they get off the West Nasu Flats interchange. This area must already be getting a lot of snow, however, as nearby mountains are covered in white beneath the trees. By the time they turn off the highway and enter the mountains, road conditions are already bad enough for Koji to regret having forgotten tire chains. Nevertheless, he continues to power his car up off a precarious slopes with only a road map to guide him. In places like this, an address isn't enough to pinpoint a location. His only choice is to drive down every road, including private roads that aren't even on the map, while searching for something that matches the photograph.
本当にこんな場所に別荘なんてあるのか。
人目につかないところだからこそ、大貝教授は気に入ったはずなんだ。
The more he hears about Ogai, the less Koji wants to meet him. Fuminori is the one who spots the narrow road, half hidden in the trees. It's practically an animal trail, overgrown with weeds that are tall and strong enough to withstand the weight of the snow.
これ、本当に道か？
Koji stops the car and sticks his head out the window and stare into the dark forest. But he can't see where the path leads through the tight-packed trees.
写真だとどう見える？
Fuminori's hands Koji the photo, which he compares to the mountain ridge visible beyond the trees.
なるほどな。アングルは間違いない。
行ってみよう。
Fuminori's tone is as flat as always, but there is a quite quiet intensity in his voice that leaves no room for argument. Although Koji is worried that his car's suspension won't hold up to handle the terrain, there's no turning back now. He shifts into second gear and starts down the frozen road. The sun sets early at high altitudes. As the car creeps up the mountain path, Koji catches glimpses of the trees of the gradually darkening sky. The forest is completely still, with no sound save for the rumble of the car's engine and the crackle of snow and brush beneath the tires. Fuminori is once again staring silently through the front window. In the ominous silence, Koji feels the same faint chill that he felt when standing before Ogai's suburban home. It feels wrong, as though he's traveling deeper and deeper into a world not his own. At some time, a blocky shape suddenly appears amid the trees, standing out against the twilight sky. Bong! Koji turns off the engine and compares the structure in front of him to the picture in his hand. A perfect match! Before he can tell Fuminori, however, his friend is already out of the car.
おい、
Realizing that it's pointless to call out to him, Koji shakes his head and grabs a flashlight from the glove compartment and follows Fuminori across the snow-covered yard. The photo must not have been taken recently, as the old run-down cabin before them has clearly been left to the mercy of the elements for some time. The front door appears to be locked, but Fuminori kicks it down without a second thought. Koji just watches, knowing that nothing he could say now would matter. All the windows are shut with heavy curtains, and the gloom inside is thick and stifling. Fuminori turns on his own flashlight and starts rummaging through the cabin without regard for its owner's privacy. Koji is reluctant to do the same, but it's obvious that this mountain retreat has been abandoned for a long time, just like the house in Tokyo. There's no point in being considerate now. He goes to search different rooms. Soon after entering the cabin, however, he realizes that their search is meaningless. There's nothing inside but the bare necessities of life. Some rooms are completely empty, save for the thick layer of dust on the floor. Of what few pieces of furniture are present, more than half appear to have never been used. There's an empty chest of drawers without a single scratch or fingerprint, but bearing the telltale signs of mold and moisture damage. The condition of the cabin is eerie, though in a different way than the filthiness of the house in the city. It's like someone put together a mock-up of a home and then left it to decay. The only sign that anyone lived here are found in the toilet, the bath, the kitchen, and the bedroom. It appears that the cabin was never used for anything but eating and sleeping. Beneath the darkened sky, the snow itself seems to glow with a cold white light. The scene is like something out of a fairy tale, but to Koji it serves only as an unpleasant reminder that he has stepped outside of the reality that he knows. Next to the front porch is a plain wooden door, half buried in the ground. It's locked, of course, but Koji sees no reason for restraint after what Fuminori did to the front door. The door offers surprisingly little resistance to Koji's heavy kick, breaking open then to reveal a set of concrete stairs leading down into a pitch-black basement. Koji would prefer to leave such a foreboding place to Fuminori, but it's not like he can just ask him to take his place. He descends into the chilly darkness, the beam of his flashlight leading the way. Koji gonna die. There turns out to be nothing in the basement but a storage room and a boiler, exactly what one would expect to find in an isolated mountain cabin. A few packages of preserved food sitting on the shelves have long since passed their expiration dates, and the boiler doesn't appear to have been used in years. Koji guesses that Ogai's mountain home has been abandoned longer than the house in Tokyo. Was Fuminori simply mistaken when he said that Ogai might be here, or was he lying from the beginning? Not sure what to do next, Koji goes back upstairs and walks around outside the cabin, and there he finds the backyard. Oh, good, it's the ring! It is the ring. Hold on. It is the ring! It's in much worse condition than the front yard. Having been mostly reclaimed by the forest, it must have been neglected even when the cabin was still in use. The remnants of a woodshed lie in the yard, the mushrooms growing on it speaking to how much time has passed since it collapsed. Next to the rotting logs, however, stands a circle of stones that has not yet succumbed to the elements. Well, a well. The well has no bucket or pulley, and when Koji peers carefully into it, he sees that the water is no longer flowing. It's probably less than 10 meters deep, depending on how much mud is piled up inside. Koji's search of the cabin has revealed nothing of interest, inside or out. Leaning against the edge of the well, Koji wonders why Ogai bought this remote home deep in the mountains, and what he was doing here. As far as Koji can tell, there's no sign that more than one person has ever stayed here.
人目につかないところだからこそ
Fuminori's words play back to Koji's head. Could this have been some sort of secret refuge? A place to remain hidden from the world? That would explain why there's nothing to suggest that whoever lived here did anything more than eat and sleep. Koji suddenly remembers the doctor he met yesterday at T University. Maybe she knows something? He takes out his phone and calls up the number. But there's barely a signal, but it manages to get through. Koji's hopes are soon dashed, however, when his call goes straight to Dr. Tanbo's voicemail. He considers calling back later, but realizes it would be hard to talk with her with Fuminori around. Fuminori would not at all be pleased to learn that Koji and Yo wanted to see his doctor. Koji decided that he'd better tell the doctor what he can while he's still alone.
どうも、殿浩二です。昨日はお世話になりました。
Koji leaves a clear and concise message explaining that he went with Fuminori to Ogai's mountain retreat, giving the address and asking for confirmation that the property belongs to Ogai.
東京に戻ったら、またこちらから連絡します。では。
After hanging up, Koji thinks back to their visit to the hospital. Is Dr. Tanbo actually investigating, like she said she would? Her reluctance to speak of Dr. Ogai is weighing on his mind. He talked to Yo about it on the way home, but they were unable to decide whether the doctor could really be trusted. Speaking of which, how is Yo doing? Koji hasn't seen her today. He didn't say a word to her about his trip to Tochigi. She might be worried, especially so soon after Omi's disappearance. Thinking of checking on her, Koji dials Yo's number and is surprised when the ring is longer than it usually does. Did she forget her phone somewhere? Just as he's about to give up, the call connects. The first thing Koji hears is a strange sound. It's not a single interference, but some kind of wet, distorted noise, like a voiceless groans or perhaps sobs of someone far away. No, that's exactly what they are. The person on the other side is crying.
つくばなのか
There's no response, but it's really Tsukuba's voice. It's too twisted with agony for Koji to tell. Panic surges through Koji as he realizes that something is terribly wrong.
コーチだ殿コーチだよつくばなのか今どこなんだ
After a short period of nothing but pained moans, words start coming through the speaker one by one, as though each takes an act of will. Yo must be delirious because Koji can't understand a thing she's saying. Her gasps and wheeze, however, are enough to tell him that she's in unimaginable pain. She's not making any sense. Koji feels despair seize his heart with an iron grip. What's happening to Yo now, 100 kilometers away? Only her voice gives any hint that what she's going through. There's nothing he can do for her.
Tsukuba, 警察を呼べ助けを呼ぶんだ
Yo suddenly breaks into a violent hacking cough, as though trying to expel something filling her throat.
Tsukuba!
Koji screams in the phone, his reason overwhelmed by unimaginable horror, which is why he is unable to react when the phone is suddenly knocked from his hand, and also why he didn't notice Fuminori sneak up on him until it was too late.
No.
Fuminori seizes Koji's lower jaw with his right hand, cutting off Koji's angry shout. Koji can hardly believe the strength of the smaller man's grip. His bigger mistake was leaning back against the well. There is nothing to grab onto as Fuminori pushes him backwards over the edge. He can only flail his arms vainly against the air. Told you. Koji soon loses his balance entirely. He feels a terrifying weightlessness as the world spins before his eyes. Before he realizes what has happened, his back strikes something with tremendous force. He thrashes as coldly dirty water fills his mouth and freezes him to the core. Only when his fingers find the wall of the well is he able to regain his sense of direction and right himself. On his hands and knees in the mud, Koji vomits filthy water out of his lungs. He tries to shout, but it comes out as hoarse groans distorted by the echo of the cramped space. Fuminori's laughter, on the other hand, is as clear as a bell. He says scornfully. Fuminori tosses Koji's phone into the well. Koji catches it just before it hits him in the face, but finds that the battery pack has been removed, rendering it useless. This is no joke. It's a miracle that Koji is uninjured. He could easily have broken his neck. And just because he's not hurt doesn't mean that he's safe. Koji feels around the inside of the well, searching for something to hold on to, but the mud-covered stones offer no purchase. It's obvious that he won't be able to get out without help.
落ちた拍子に死んでればまだ苦しまずに済んだろう。
お前、おい、まさか。
Koji starts to say, but trails off as pieces finally come together in his head. Today's sudden change in Fuminori's attitude, that smile that always seems somehow malevolent. Fuminori hadn't been smiling at Koji, but at the thought of his friend's death.
どうして
He can't wrap his head around this turn of events. Why would Fuminori try to kill him? True, Fuminori had wanted Koji to stay out of his business, but is that really a motive for murder?
別段今すぐ殺す必要なんてなかったんだけどね。もしかしたらお前は僕の邪魔をするようになりやすくもしれないし、せっかく人目につかないところまで出かけるんならついでにと思ってさ。
ついでにってお前そんな理由で俺を。
お前死ぬのに理由が欲しいのか。
Fuminori replies coldly. He sounds truly amazed that Koji would even ask such a thing.
何様のつもりだコージ。人は何の理由もなく死ぬんだよ。僕の両親がそうだったし、僕も危うくそうなりかけた。
むちゃくちゃだ。
そんなに理由が欲しいなら一人でじっくり考えなよ。そこでなら時間はたっぷりあるだろ。
Fuminori disappears from view, leaving Koji alone in the darkness with nothing to connect him to the outside world.
ふみのり、おい、ふみのり。
Koji shouts at the top of his lungs, knowing beyond the doubt that if Fuminori leaves, all hope of rescue will vanish with him. No one will ever hear him calling for help at the bottom of this mountain well.
つくばが大変なんだ。おい、ふみのり、聞いてくれ。ここから出してくれ。
In his desperation, Koji can no longer comprehend the futility of begging for mercy. No god or devil will answer him. His only hope is that Fuminori will have a change of heart. Praying for a miracle, he keeps calling Fuminori's name. Eventually, the sky grows as dark as the bottom of the well. Koji can no longer make out the edge of the opening, and he's long since lost track of how many hours he's been screaming. Nevertheless, he continues to scream. He knows that the despair silence brings will kill him. Well, guys, we'll continue next time. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Seiya no Uta, or Song of Seiya. If you guys like this video, spread the word about the channel. Follow me on Twitter and on Twitch and Mixer. And also, check out my Patreon, why don't you, or a merch shop. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Thank you.